Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host of L2 Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we are covering Single Taken Other. This is season 2, episode 8, and it is the finale. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please do me a big one. Like this video, share it. You can also leave your comments and subscribe if you are new to this channel. Now, let's get into this finale. All right, y'all. Taryn, she's sick. She done caught a bug traveling to and fro, basically from traveling back and forth for wherever Kara's trip was. The ladies come over and take care of her, plus her mom. Her mom is, while they're attending to the ladies, Brittany, Kara, and Monica, the mom, she's getting the right stuff to help out Taryn, but they are more comforting her and just wanting to tend to her in that type of way. TLC in a way. Mom ends up making a special cup that has the ingredients of rum, ginger, honey, and lemon. She wants Taryn to drink that up and then gargle some hot salt water, and then she should be better. She's also making some soup, and she said, look, prepare yourself to steam your face with eucalyptus oil. I said, okay. All these home remedies. Robitussin, what? I really think that we're coming back to that age where we're going to have to be using a whole lot more of home remedies instead of all of these products that are being shoved down our throats that we see are now causing more harm to our bodies, and just allow nature and earth to heal us then instead of all of these other things. I'm not totally shunning anything that's happening within the scientific world, but I think that we should use more things that are accessible to us. So they catch up. Taryn wants to know what is the tea since they've been back. Monica, she said that she has been trying to call Paul, texting him at the office, even trying to corner him in the hallway, and he is crickets. It's basically crickets. I forgot who asked, but they said, well, what's going on? Because we thought you were completely over Nick. Monica says, I don't know. I don't know why, what actually is making me keep going back to him. She called herself an idiot. Taryn did say, look, while you're trying to figure out why you keep going back to him, you have to forgive yourself. And it's good because there is therefore now no condemnation. Can you have a feeling of remorse? But with that guilt, it comes with pulling in other stuff that isn't really good for your soul. So, yeah, even though I said it and still mean it, like, you deserve what you got from Paul on last week because you weren't honest. And you just thought you were going to slide through life doing things to folks in secret. But, yeah, I agree with Taryn. You got to forgive yourself. Kara, they asked, did you talk to Gary? And she said, not really. We've been tiptoeing around the issue. I ended up texting him for this joke. If Issa and Lawrence can make it, then we can make it too. Shout out to Issa and Lawrence. And Kara did say that she was left on red. And they said, rightfully so. You need to have a conversation with that man and quit playing all these games. Brittany, what's going on with Leon? Really nothing. And she said, because they asked her, what is the real problem? She said that she hated being blindsided. As I said on last week, Brittany is waiting for any type of excuse to disengage from something and someone because of how guarded she is. But the lady said, well, I guess we can see that, but at the same point, you still haven't told Leon about Royce. And what I will say, by the end of this episode, she still hasn't said anything about this Royce dude. And that is probably what's going to complicate what we learn at the end of the episode. Where are we at? Brittany asked, so what's going on with you? Asked Taryn, so what's going on with you and Dusty? For whatever reason. Yeah, because they're asking, okay, so where is he? Why isn't he here with you being sick? And Taryn said, well, he calls. I mean, at least the niglet could have DoorDashed you some soup or whatnot if he wasn't even going to come over. However, look, I had to tell my friend this. Well, I didn't really understand what was going on because they were just telling me one person that their significant other was sick. I said, are you going to go by there at some point? Because it had been a couple weeks that their significant other was sick. Finding out the whole house was sick, I guess that made him, it was more a quarantine type of situation. However, he was sending money, Cash App money, or Venmoing him. I forgot which way it was Venmoing the money over and all that good stuff. I said, I guess that's cool. You know, sometimes it's good for a person that is sick to at least lay eyes on someone else, to not feel isolated. So, hey, I'm glad that they are really on Taryn at this point. So then mom comes over and says, look, I like to mind my business. But hearing you ladies talk, look, I got some things to say. I've been through relationships. They've been up and down and all that good stuff. So I think that I have the wisdom to actually give you all. And she says, you know, you ladies, God has a purpose for you, all of you. And don't let men distract you from any of that. Individually, she says, Monica, figure out why you keep running back to a man who mistreats you. And why are you running from, and what are you running from within yourself? Okay. What are you running from within yourself? Kara, life is not a joke. Kara does this thing where when she doesn't know how to really express herself, she makes jokes at inappropriate times. Life is not a joke. You have to be serious about what you want to do. Sit with your man and talk about your relationship. Brittany, let your guard down and let some people in. She said, don't be a fool. We understand that everybody cannot come to the I was going to say to the cookout, but to your personal cookout. Let's just say it like that. You know, but you got to start letting somebody in. Taryn, get rid of Ahmad. I asked, did you pray? But let me tell you something. Since I know you have not prayed, I'm going to go talk to God. And I'm going to pray that he shuts it all down.
Get him banned. Get him banned. We don't do that here.
She wants something to happen for you two to break up. Taryn was talking about, you know, beforehand, before mom, she was basically being Sheila from Why Did I Get Married? When she was going up that mountain and she was going to go save her marriage. That's how Taryn is. I'm like, what is there to save? And it's you that's doing the saving. He ain't coming. He came to you once because he missed you, but he didn't even correct his behavior. He apologized with some public flowers, and nothing has excelled in him as far as even wanting to say, I want to be in relationship with you. Anyways, yeah, so mama told them, what's up? And then they all like, oh, she read you. She read y'all all. Okay. I think his name was Lawrence. The lawyer. Kara, they're at her new building. It's now under construction and things are going well. And Lawrence was giving him a update on all of that. Giving her an update on all that. And then Kara did want to apologize. And then Lawrence was like, no, I apologize. She said, look, I overstepped the professional lines and I apologize. She went on and said that I was, I'm paraphrasing because I don't know the exact term at the moment. I was really suffering on the inside for some things that I was needing that I wasn't getting, and you were there, which is interesting. Kara has this way of not being able to express herself to oversharing. When she just spills it out. And you're like, well, why are you saying that? You know, like, shh, a little bit, Kara. But anyways, they both apologized and basically said that that's not going to happen again. Is there a future between those two? Because it seemed like they were two passionate people. Maybe after all business is over with, maybe something's going to happen. I don't know, but we shall see. So there is an administrative meeting at Flair. Joan commends and congratulates Connie Spaulding for another great photo shoot. In turn, Connie does the right thing, and she gives credit to Brittany and Keith. And I really appreciated her doing that, but I appreciate something more that's going to come out of her mouth in just a few minutes. Joan asks the office or everyone that's attending the meeting, are there any other issues or concerns? Taryn stands up and says, yeah, I got one. And then all of a sudden, Joan just kind of shuts it down and says, I got something to say. She says, it seems that we have a snake within our midst. Now, what I will say is Joan looked flawless. I think that she made sure that she showed up ready to read a... I ain't going to say the word, but you know what I mean. And she reveals that about what Mercedes has been doing. And she also said, which I think stung more even just revealing what Mercedes has been doing against the company, is when she said, you know, if you had came to me correct, we could have collaborated. We could have done a whole bunch of other stuff. But you decided to move quite crazy. You never can win when you play dirty. And you met the right one that was able to stop you before you actually went further to try to destroy what she built up. So Joan dismissed her. I saw Monica. I love the effects and what the writing did take place in this scene, because when Joan dismissed her, Monica shut the laptop down that Mercedes had in front of her. Then Terrence said, this is what I wanted to tell you. This is what I knew. I knew something was about you the whole time. It was a lie. It was a lie. Lord, Terrence, sit down. Sit down. Oh, yeah, so bye wig. You know, a lot of people do move that way. For some reason, you think you got to cut people down in order to build yourself up. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on in this episode, or in this review. But it's just like, a lot of things could have been avoided, and you could have actually received the connections freely if you would have just came correctly. If you could have just established a relationship instead of trying to come in a violating way to get what you could have gotten free without having to be manipulative and deceitful. And you reap what you sow, Mercedes. I don't care. It don't have to be today, but you either gonna pay on the front end or the back end on how you want to treat people. All right, so Royce, Joy, and the boss, I can't remember his name, they meet. And the boss ended up just saying, what's up? You know, he's really disappointed that all this stuff was going on because Joy has revealed everything to him. And he's made his decision as to what's going to happen. He says no one's getting fired. However, Kyle will be moved into another department.
Goodbye, Kyle.
Joy will lead another division of Streamline, helping women in their own businesses and their marketing plans. Royce gets to keep his position, but he's no longer going to be team lead. He did say that the next time that this ever happens, they will be terminated. Or anyone does this, they will be terminated. After the meeting, Royce thanks Joy for helping him out. Then Royce asked, so what's been going on with you? We haven't really been speaking. And Joy said, I'm done with whatever this is. And Royce was like, what? Why? And she asks point blank, are you in love with Brittany? Jasmine Sullivan stuttering. You still got nothing to say. So Joy was like, look, I'm grown and I'm not petty. I see what's up and I'm deciding to exit left right now. So then she ends up answering a phone call from a dude that now she's getting ready, that she's going to go on a date with. I said, look, I can only respect that. And even if Joy crashed out and started doing some crazy stuff, I would understand, because to this day, Royce has not been honest with Joy whatsoever. She's giving you ample opportunity to come forward, and you didn't. And that's what I can't respect about you, Royce. I can't do it. So, Miss Connie Spaulding. I call her Connie Spaulding. This is a character that's on Two Can Play That Game. She was acting opposite of Vivica A. Fox's character and all that. And I think I called her that, and rightfully so, knowing what she's about to say to Brittany. So she has a conversation with Brittany, and she apologizes to her. Connie says, the more that you work in this industry, the more people are out to get you for no good reason. I learned that I had to be cutthroat and assertive to keep my stake in this game. And I was wanting to show Joan that I'm someone that you can count on, and you should allow to still be a part of this team and the company. I should have come with an open mind, even as you were giving your own opinions about certain things and ideas. And she apologized. So basically, Connie Spaulding has been a mean girl. And the reason I call her Connie Spaulding now, I mean, Gabrielle Union was playing that character. This is no slight or shade towards Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle said that she was a mean girl in Hollywood. Of course, she's not that anymore. But it was quite treacherous as to how the hell that she was putting on people. So, yeah. And I promise you, thank you, writers, I was not going to rest until Connie apologized to Brittany or she'd be removed. Because beforehand, I was like, get rid of her. However, I'm glad that she came back around the mountain and apologized to Brittany and really respected her and all that. Because, I mean, Brittany could have crashed out. And I know she was tempted to do it. And I commend Brittany for staying in control of her emotions and not allowing this mean girl to get the best of her. But again, you see who she was actually cutthroat to. People that you know have potential, and you could probably see that they got even more than what you got going on, will sit up here and try to get rid of you and try to diminish you and cut you down. But I'm glad that Brittany held her own and knows who she is. So, I'll give you some points. I'll give you an 8. I'll give you an 8, Connie, for your apology. But we're going to watch you, and hopefully that you do stay the course. Monica. She goes by Paul's apartment. She apologizes again to Paul, and is asking, I understand that you're upset. Maybe with time that you will forgive. Paul says, for the life of me, I can't understand how someone with all of these great qualities will let a person into their space and let them devalue them over and over again. I say the same. You must not value yourself. But guess what? I do. And I won't let anyone devalue me. And you just got to figure your ish out. I think that it had to be said. And it had to be said the way that it was said, and also by a male person. You can look at it as whatever's going on with her dad. Now that we know that piece is there, like what, it doesn't seem like Monica has any male figures really speaking life into her. You see, she's really chasing after that value from a man that stems from her father. And for some reason, she's still wanting to connect herself to this Nick dude that don't mean her no good. It's never going to get any better. But I think she needed someone to give her the cold hard facts that even her friends could not do. And it's not a bad thing. The friends are kind of want to be there to support her. Some of them wanted to just say, you a stupid girl. I think Brittany, at least last season, was like, we ain't going to do that to her. I think that she needed it. She needed the truth. And I think that she's got to hit the ground in order to rise back up to the top. And there's no more pussyfooting around it. Like, Monica, you got to change. Because you're going to go out there and really hurt someone that came into your life that did not mean you no harm. Gary and Kara. Now, I've been team Gary and Kara since the beginning. But here we go. Kara said, of course I love my relationship. And I was actually hurt that you did take that job in California. Gary was like, okay, I'll take that. Kara says, look, I thought I could go along with it, but it didn't work out that way. I need my person here with me, in body. And I can't do the long distance thing. It does not excuse what I did to you as far as kissing this other dude. It did happen. I was weak and vulnerable. I think if Kara would have spoken up, I don't know if things would have changed, but she may not had crossed the line with her lawyer. Who knows for real in regards to that. However, it's like, if she would have stepped up and just said, I don't know if I can really do this long distance thing a long time ago, or can we please just, I need to see you or something. But when I knew Gary and Kara were over, it was when Gary said that he's really growing and really loves it out in California. And some things you just don't know until you actually experience it. I don't think that that was in his mind to do that, but it is what it is at this point. And you can't go back and change how you feel. However, right now, it doesn't seem like it fits that Kara and Gary fit together because they are on separate paths. And it's totally okay. So they just kind of hug each other out, and we can tell that Team Gara is no longer a team. But she did say, if you ever move back to Florida, hit me up. And if y'all end the series and let Gary come back into her life, please let that be the end game at the end of the day. Please, y'all. As far as the writers. Brittany finally has a conversation with Leon. Brittany confesses that it's difficult for me to give people chances when I feel slighted. Leon does apologize for making her feel that way and all that. And he asked, are we cool? And she said, yeah, we cool. And then he said, you're my girl, cool? Yeah. So he got his girlfriend back. Still, Brittany has not mentioned Royce. I wonder what that outcome would really be. Royce meets up with his friend, his married friend. I cannot remember his name. I know it was mentioned. But anyways, the friend goes off. And the friend is like me to my friends. Sometimes I'll be like, ooh, I wonder if they really, are they really upset with me? Because a lot of them just eat it up. I'm like, I know y'all want to cuss me out after what I just said, but it's the truth. He says, you always in something. So you're going to try to get her back? Joy. He says, no, I'm tired of chasing people. Royce. But I think you were more thinking about, the whole Brittany situation. You're in the wrong. And Joy's not going to come back to you. Well, what about Brittany? He's not really into that right now. The dude says, the friend says that it's best for you to be by yourself. At this point, you need to think about your next moves in your relationships, career, and in your life. Where do you see yourself for the future? And they kind of end off with that. We go back to Brittany. Brittany's in the bathroom. Looks like she's about to take a shower or whatnot. And then she decided to do some math. And she counted the days. And it's been 10 days past her normal menstrual cycle. I'll be grown on this YouTube channel. But yeah. So at this point, she's kind of like, oh no. What's up? Taryn comes into the room where Ahmad is at. He's on his game. Taryn's going out, and Ahmad was supposed to come with her church group friends. And he's like, no, I want to play the game. Taryn said, okay, so what are we doing? You don't ever want to do anything with me. You're not interested in my friends, not this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We are on two separate planes. Taryn said, look, we're basically just not a good match. And I'm tired of trying to make things right. And then Ahmad was like, oh, so you don't think that we a good match? Cool. And then he's ready to leave. And Taryn was like, was that all you had to say? And then Ahmad said, is there anything else to say? Get out, trash. Because it's like, again, Taryn was going to go up this mountain to try to save her marriage, her relationship. And the dude didn't even care. He's tired of the arguments. We're tired of you being aloof in this relationship. Get out of her life. But I'm glad, be gone. I'm glad that Taryn finally came to her senses. So next we see her in a coffee spot or shop. And she's reading her Bible and reading, I guess there's some type of reflective commentary on what she's reading. Taryn reflects on her breakup and her friends' relationships. And she's getting from this season that this is the season of change. And it's no longer the same operations. And to open our minds to the new possibility, or to open our minds to the possibility of new things and really truly accept change. We see Monica in therapy. And we also see Kara at her new building. Brittany takes her pregnancy test. We see her stare in the mirror and not really give a reaction. We know that girl is pregnant. We see that Royce has also given his resignation letter to the boss. And might I add, Royce, that maybe you should save up for your minivan. We know that baby is his. I ain't even going to act like it's not. So Brittany's pregnant, even though she didn't tell us. But she looked in the mirror. I'm going to say that Brittany's pregnant and it's Royce's. Now, I thought earlier in this season somebody would be pregnant. However, my choice, it was going to be Monica. And I would have said, look, they're just consequences to the things that you want to do in life. And you wanted to still creep with Nick on the side while having a boyfriend, when you could have avoided it altogether if you wanted Nick to not say yes to Paul. So, the photographer Kasim is also at the coffee shop, and he notices the book that Taryn's reading. Oh, where Taryn's at? Okay, cool. He notices the book that she's reading, and says it's a good book, and he wants to talk about the book after she's done reading it. He also says that he will be seeing more of her because Joan has booked him for some more photo shoots coming up. So things are looking great, and it looks like that they can have some intellectual conversations. It doesn't look like Taryn has to force anything to happen, or they just fall into familiar routes like she did with Ahmad, knowing Mr. Dusty was still rusty. But that's how it ended, and I'm really proud of this production company, the writers, everybody on staff, the actors. You guys are doing your big thing, and I'm glad that it's coming out of my region of South Florida. And I'm so proud of it. I'm glad that I've gotten to know you all, or gotten to know you guys through. I'm glad that I'm connected to you all. Not so much that I know you. I don't know y'all like that. I know you from a distance, but I'm glad that I know who you guys are. And discovering the art that you guys give is just really great. Of course, people are already talking about season 3. We do need a season 3. Season 3 is a reset. And there's so many possibilities as to how the characters ended off. And I am interested to see how it is explored. I guess we have to see when there's announcements for season 3. And again, congratulations. You guys did an amazing job. And the best is yet to come. I appreciate everyone for coming. Again, like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.